That's right, you read the title correctly. I have 2 weeks to finish up this game I've been working on. I'm really proud of the progress I've made so far, and it's really starting to feel like a game. Wait.
Wait, 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 wait. Wait.
Let's rewind the story a bit. Hi, I am a solo game developer, or at least that's what I like to call myself. Truth is, I'm a college student who is 1 quarter away from getting a bachelor's in software and game development. I know, exciting, right? I'm excited to graduate, to have a piece of paper to tell employers how experienced I am. I mean, the job market for game developers is going great right now. Oh, right. The gaming industry is currently in flames. So that means I cannot bet comfortably on getting into the game industry on the backs of others. During my time at college, I've made various different games as final projects, but none of them really stuck out to me. Not to say that I didn't put effort into them, but I mean, they were really boring to play. I don't fault myself for this, as I was just learning what it truly meant to make a fun game. Game development, and especially game design, is a skill that you train, and I really didn't understand that at first. That's only one of the two reasons I chose to create this channel. I wanted to push myself to be able to practice the parts of game development I am most uncomfortable with. Making a fully polished game that is nice to play. This other part is ultimately what created the spark needed to commit to creating this channel. I was chatting with my friend from college with a group while we were talking about making commitments to game and struggling with holding to one game idea. My friend goes, "If either one of you two can get a completed, polished game, I will pay for Steam's publishing fee." At first, I was already so caught up with schoolwork that I didn't want to devote time to projects that would pull away my focus from classwork. However, over in the next week, I started thinking about how I could use that opportunity as motivation. However, I know myself. I know that I will end up pushing it off and then never get to it. So I set personal boundaries for myself to hold myself accountable. First, I had until the end of June to get the game for a demo on Steam, and then I would start up a channel to document and even promote my game in the process. About a month ago, I posted my first devlog video, and I was really excited to work on this game. I was working on it consistently every day, and I enjoyed working on it. Using that motivation, I kept the momentum to get to my second devlog, but then my arch nemesis started to creep on me. Motivation. When I work on a game for a class, I have grandiose ideas that I want to add things to the game, but then sometimes game development takes a lot longer than you expect. Things like fixing bugs, finding the right assets, to researching games in similar genres. I always seem to burn out on a project. Because of this burnout, the first 80% of the game is really good and has a lot of effort, but then the last 20% is really stale and felt like there was little effort into it, which is reasonable. That explains why this upload has taken 2 weeks. I pushed it aside until I knew I couldn't anymore. I wasn't working on the game consistently. However, what I found helped me was working on a different part of the game. I was getting really frustrated on programming the backend, so I spent a day updating the UI and making it look good. Turns out that when a game looks good, it is more rewarding to make it feel fun to play as well. Now, both of those go side by side, and the common rule of thumb in software development is make something work and then make it look pretty. I ended up bashing my head against the wall, making everything work all at once. But realistically, I should have made one thing work and then made it look pretty as well before moving on to the next. Since my second devlog, I have done a lot of cleanup as far as the UI. Again, I needed to take a break from purely building functionality. However, there is also a lot going behind the scenes that I cleaned up in order to make the game easier to expand. I think the game's visual direction is going to be drastically changed in the next upcoming weeks, but I think this is a very good step in the right direction. I've also added two new types of rooms. This first one that you can see is the event/quest room. This room's visual direction is very lacking. However, I spent a lot of the time working on the functionality and making sure that the code will scale well. The next type of room is the smithy room, which is my play on the campfire rooms associated with Slay the Spire. This room will allow the player to upgrade their knives with special ores that drop from enemies. Believe it or not, this room was actually hell to program. The reason for this was that I realized that I had programmed the knives completely wrong. To brief those who are not familiar with Unity, there is a type of data file called scriptable objects. These are used when you have multiple objects in your game that have the exact same data. My knife system was using this file type as it made it really easy to simplify the code. However, the issue is a very subtle issue. In Unity, you can drag components where you need them to be. However, you are creating a direct reference to that file. This is normally not an issue, but this became a huge issue in my game. I was trying to use the singular file as if it were 10 separate things. So when I upgrade the level on a knife, it would upgrade every knife's level. So how did I fix it? I just had to change how I was creating the knives and how I was instantiating them. It's a lot of programming semantics that I won't go into any more detail, but it was quite annoying to fix. I also added more types of knives to demonstrate what I can do with these knives. Since I refactored basically everything about the knives, I was able to create these two new types of knives in about 20 minutes. Leave a comment on what knife you think I should add into the game. My favorite part about this game so far is how I've made this simple mobile game I used to play a lot into an RPG style game. Now, this game has a truly deck builder roguelike gameplay to it. This feels like a game I could lose hours to. Honestly, this game is self-fulfilling because I have poured countless hours into games that have the same game loop. However, there are still some crucial things missing to complete the roguelike experience. I need to add shops so players actually have a reason to spend their gold. I need to add elites so players can gather more relics and for more difficulty in the game. Obviously, I still want to polish the visuals and make the game feel more cohesive as opposed to two separate things going on. And I need sounds and ambiance. Without sounds, the game just feels empty. And now you might be wondering, how in the hell am I going to do this in the next 2 weeks? It's gonna be an uphill battle, to be honest. Some of the time we'll be creating these critical pieces that I mentioned in order to complete the game, but the majority of my time will be spent on quality assurance. Players are unpredictable. As a developer, you try and create an experience for the player, but the players never do what you expect them to do. They want to find ways to break your game as they test their limits as a player. This is also why I'm going to be running a private round of playtesting before launching the game onto Steam. It is crucial that my game is polished and truly fun to play. If you want to see more of this game and want to follow along on my journey, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to the channel. That's it for now. Toodaloo!